A very good morning to you. Welcome to Herssociate, the show for women. My name is Wangui, and with me in studio is a wonderful guest. Her name is Mariam. She advocates for women's rights, and she is also the chairperson for Youth FGM in Somaliland. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We are so happy to have you once again. You were here before, I remember, and we talked a lot about FGM.
Yeah. It was a very nice program. Yes.
Well, in this show, we are going to talk about this assessment that was done by NAGAD, the Gender Gap Assessment in Somaliland. A lot of issues are in this document. I'm sure you've come across that document.
Yeah.
And there are things that we need to talk about. It is said that women have less than half equal opportunities as men here in Somaliland, which is quite alarming, because if women are lagging behind, how do we expect the economy to grow? So I'll ask you a few questions, and we'll start by trying to understand, what is this gap about?
Thank you, and I'm very happy that I'm here again. And actually, when we see Somaliland gender gap assessment, it is now written, and it's evidence-based, this assessment. But we have seen and felt the gap for a long time. And when we are looking to the certain areas in Somaliland, and if you look to the education, the political, as well as the, not only political, but the certain technical positions within the government, women are not there. In terms of, so this assessment actually put it in writing, but we felt it, and we still feeling that kind of a gap, and there is a huge gap, not only not limited to the economy, education, and as well as the politics, but as well as in health-wide, as well as in other areas, in decision-making areas, and also in the private sector. So the gap, if I'm talking about the gap, is how men are privileged and women are less privileged, or less given chance or given opportunity because of the gender she is or he is. If the mother or the father is now agreeing or taking children to their school, they will decide on their gender to go to the school. If it's the man, boy, they will take him to the school because of he is the breadwinner. They think, they believe. While the girl, by age of 18, she will be married off, and they feel like a man can make to support the family, while the girls will be supporting other family. Lots of perception in it. And so the gender gap assessment is focusing on 4 areas: and economy participation, and as well as the economy opportunity, like employment and all of that, education was, and also political.
Well, to our audience, in case you're wondering, what is this gender assessment we are talking about? Well, this is the hard copy. It was released this year, actually March. That's when it was made available to the public. And I think anyone can access it online.
Yeah.
We will try and break it down for the audience to understand what is in this assessment. A research was done. They did not just come up with this. They looked at so many factors. It involved a group of researchers who sat down and wrote this report. And they are trying to explain, what are the problems women are having? How can we address them? What needs to be done? Yes. So you've talked about political, socio-economic, health, education. These are some of the areas where women are not getting equal opportunities as much as men. Well, let's look at education, for instance. It is said that lots of women, like if you look at this report, they're saying like almost more than 50% of women in Somaliland are illiterate. They don't have formal education. Is this true?
Yes, because the formal education, as I said earlier, if the family is deciding who is going to the formal education, it is the host who will think the breadwinner and who will make things happen. And if we see the girls coming to the school and finishing the school, it's very different. There is, again, informal education like Quran and all of that, and schools and different other areas. So the woman who is coming to the formal education is half of the women we have in Somaliland. And it's written in the assessment and the research as well. And when we are looking to the other, when you are seeing the progress of the girls from the primary, intermediate, secondary, and university is actually shrinking from one state to another. And that is a linking from different challenges for the girls. One time is a menstrual problem is that they don't have access in the sanitary pads, and they are going out from the school. Another area is the FGM that having problem also constricting women to have certain or to have a right to go to somewhere. And then as well as we have this when the women, girls are finishing the secondary school, they think they are the marriage object. They wanted, the married family will marry off, or there is a threatened things in the mind that if you progress in education, or you don't need to progress in education. You need to be.
After all, you're only good for being a wife.
A woman are wives and are only in house. They have to be that kind of perception. Girls are just limiting themselves to go to not pursuing to build their career. When they are in the university as well, some girls getting married and then they leave. So even if you see the entry and then the going out, it's very different. So education and the other areas that have the hidden determinants that I have seen is we don't have enough teachers, female teachers.
So the number of female teachers is actually less.
Yeah, and it's not actually written here, but if we see are very less. Maybe in each school there is a 1 or 2. And when you go up, principals, maybe there is a 1% of the female principals in schools. When we come to the university, unfortunately, in Somaliland, like in Hargeisa, I haven't seen much female deans, as well as the female teachers at the universities are very low. So the girls doesn't have any role models that they aspire to be. That also limits them. Where I'm going, everybody, whoever finished the university or she was seeing she is finished the university, sitting home. So where she is going, that's where the empowerment come in, and we need actually more female teachers, more female deans, that we take the woman from that perspective.
If a woman cannot read and write, it means she cannot secure formal employment. And in this assessment, it shows that women are not having formal jobs in Somaliland. And not only formal jobs, let us look at leadership. How many women do we have in parliament? Is it one?
Yeah, only one.
Only one woman. And how do we expect our issues as women to be discussed in parliament? Who will raise this budget, like who will approve budgets for us, budgets that favor women? Like you talked about sanitary towels. We need to lower the taxes of these sanitary towels, but who is there to raise this issue in parliament if we have less leaders? Is it because that women are afraid to be leaders, or they think they cannot do it, or is it that the opportunity is not there? Why?
And lots of that. And when it comes to the women who are uneducated or having a less education, they are self-employed. It is written in the assessment. They said the women who have a less education, they are more self-employed. They have this kind of small businesses, they have small entrepreneurial things, they started all of that. But the women who are finishing the universities are more on, they even not seeing themselves, it is written in the assessment if you look to it. They are not even seeing themselves as a self-employed. They always look for somebody to work for them. That comes to leadership. Where are you going to? What you learn, and when you go to the company or NGO, do you want to be a secretary or you want to reach that level? Leadership is starting from within and as well as the community to see you as a leader. In Somali culture, we don't see a woman as a leader. That's why we have a one in parliament. There may be 9 in a local councils, 0 in a upper house, and 3 only in the cabinet right now, because that kind of a material that see women as a leader is not there. And unfortunately to say that, it's not coming only from the male, also it's coming from the females, from the women themselves. They don't see them as they raised it when they were young. You're a girl, sit down, all of that. Even they think that you are, when you are in a leadership position, you are not even good for that.
So girls grow up knowing that you should not talk when men are talking. You should not be involved in any decision making. We have clan elders. Most of the cases are solved by clan elders, not mostly in court. Like, people do not opt to go the longer way, like to the formal courts. They choose to solve domestic issues with the clan elders. Do we have clan elders who are women?
No.
So no clan elder.
Yeah.
So no woman will be there to talk on behalf of the lady in case of maybe domestic violence or rape.
No, I don't think so. I never heard about the woman clan leader or a leader in some elderly who are making the decisions within the men. And as everything, most of the things is solved by that community or male leaders. And then they don't favor women. Actually, if like the rape case, they will marry off the girl who raped.
So if I am raped today, the rapist will be told to marry me.
Yeah.
That is the way the rapist is punished.
Both.
So
the victim and the rapist also.
Like you all suffer.
Yes.
So you're forced to marry someone you don't want.
Yeah.
Just because it's the way they choose to punish this rapist.
To punish the rapist as well as to perceive the honor of the family, all of that kind of things to be happen, because it is touching the honor of the family, and the girl will be labeled, discriminated if they release her or something like that. So they will marry off the girl. If there's a gun rape, it's a different story, but still it's not favoring the girl and or the victim. And so this kind of, that's why I have also involved in another research that the women actually favor to go to the court instead of the customary law, because they see that the courts are more flexible or more
like they favor women more than the customary.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
That's how they felt. They wanted to go to the court more, because although they don't have much access, and if there is a happen with her, always there is a male who will be involved in that area. And so, but the woman actually favor.
So this woman who was raped and married off to a rapist is subjected to marital slavery, because this is marital slavery. You don't want it. You're being forced to do it. You're supposed to serve this man, obey this man. You don't even love this man. You probably never even knew this man. It just happened that you came to know him after the rape happened. So a lot of women end up living in marital slavery. You have no say in that marriage. Speaking of reproductive rights, do women have reproductive rights here?
No. They don't have. Actually, women, if you see from that angle, if you look from that angle, women are not having any right to her body. When it's coming to the sexual reproductive health rights, means they have no control on their reproductive and issues at all. Like they don't have, unless the man or the husband is allowing her to take the family planning. No. It is okay to have that kind of a consensus and talk to each other. It's a partnership. Marriage is a partnership. But if they feel like even if they have a C-section, they shouldn't take family planning because the man is not allowing that.
So a woman cannot walk to a pharmacy and say, I want.
Yeah, only they sold by the men. They say, where is the husband? Then they will give the man.
If there's no husband, no getting.
Even the antenatal care services, they don't, unless the man with her, they don't give the implant or the IUD and all of that. And in terms of the C-section or the operation, is the emergency and operation is for the woman, always the man should sign. He is the one who will sign that. No one else.
So if I'm in labor and then I go to the hospital and I'm told you cannot deliver normally, we have to have a C-section and it's an emergency, they will not do it even if your mother is there, even if your sister is there, because they're female. There must be a male to sign and say it's okay, go ahead. So you can be in labor for hours and in pain, and this can lead to death.
Sometimes bleeding. Some women come with bleeding, with emergency and signs that the woman must have emergency operation, like from the entry to the operation. But we as doctors, we should wait. The family, male cousins, or even if there is no husband at that moment, male should sign that. Otherwise, you will be in a huge problem as a doctor, because you operated without the consent. And this is more linked to the woman's reproductivity. They think if the woman has a scar or the section happened to her, she can't have more children. And they are risking the woman's life, the baby inside his life, because many children, she won't have many children. And I have seen when I was in the hospital, and I heard it as well from the other colleagues here and medical doctors, that we witnessed many deaths because we were looking for a man to sign, or actually pursuing and giving the husband or her father to sign them. These areas actually we need to work on it very hard, because it touches the human right. The woman actually, as I believe, woman has the right to control herself, her body. This is her body. This is her uterus. Either she wants to have 11 children, or she has only one, or not. That's her right. The husband should understand as well. The other area is the emergency operation. Emergency operation shouldn't be waited anybody. It's an emergency. It's a life-saving. We shouldn't wait for the culture to accept the C-section. It's not like that. It is a human right. It should be happening. Yeah.
Because the husband can even say, I don't like you anymore.
Exactly.
Let me get rid of you this way. I will not sign so that you can die.
Actually, some morality is very bad. Some of them, they only wait, and then when she dies, they will marry another woman after 40 days.
This is very sad. Is it that we need to look at our health laws or something like, because even the health sector has issues. And by the way, do we have female surgeons?
Very low, like one or two. Female surgeons, as well as we have some girls actually graduated from University of Hargeisa Amud, who are doing the reproductive and the obstetric and gynecological operations, but mainly is preferred by men. And it is an area of the surgery, and all of that is an area for male dominated. Not only in Somaliland, but in other, and well, that's why we have a woman in global health and movement. and that we really need the women to be build their leadership, and as well as to pursue any career they want, even if it's a neurosurgery. And the other area that we are lacking in Somaliland is the women's leadership and health, because all of these issues, we have it as a lower level, as like a workforce. And we see in this C-section problems, operations, signing, all of that, only contacting with the patients. But mainly is happening up. If the woman goes to the reproductive health department, she can fight and work hard. That the signature should be by anybody, even by the doctor, if he sees and that. And there will be a law as well. If the doctor is doing more C-sections, we have to look and investigate. Is it this driven by money or not? Because the people think that it is initiated by the doctor or the health worker is the economic wise. But also we have to have a law when we have the signature to be signed by women. Also we have to have another law, health law or regulation that limits the doctors and health workers to not operate women who are not eligible for the emergency. It is, we need also, that this is a holistic system that we need to change and to have regulations in every sector. But really, this is a human rights issue. And if we have, as I believe, if we have a woman leadership in health, especially in reproductive health, we can solve this.
And even many careers, women are afraid of pursuing certain careers because the community believes they cannot be good doctors, they cannot be engineers. Like, it limits them, because how will people think? If I open a clinic and I'm a woman, will people come to me, or will they go to the man's clinic?
It depends. It is if they see that the woman is linked with the man or something like that, they will go. But if it is both, mostly 90% of the people will go to the male clinic, because he has his clan and all of that will go to that side. If it is a shop, it's the same. If it's a company, it's the same, because they think women are only for women. So
a woman is only good in the kitchen.
In the kitchen and the house. And sometimes only some of the words that the sentence that I always hear is, you are a factory, warshat batai. Means you are the factory of the children. You shouldn't be sitting somewhere between us, like when I'm in a big meetings or in a leadership positions. You should be home. Where is your children? You see, even they are stigmatizing you, marginalizing you when you are in a leadership position, that you are doing wrong. So some girls believe that they can't pursue leadership positions because she's a woman first, and then the male stigmatize her and marginalize it because she went out from the house. And there is another is women also, they drag themselves down. When the girl comes into the company or in the NGO, other women fight because this level. There is lots of women.
Are also their own enemies.
Enemies, because we are here. So the opportunity is limited in this level. So they will drag everybody down to maintain this. But if the woman goes with this level, she doesn't have any problem with this. But we are fighting with the small positions in the lower level.
Well, indeed, women really need to even change their thinking. Because even when you look at things like domestic violence, when a woman is beaten by the man, the community will ask the woman, what did you do wrong? It's not like, it's okay for the man to punish the woman, but the community will ask, even when the woman goes to their parents, they'll tell you, what did you wrong? Why did you go wrong?
We had this, I was listening to one of the programs, and also I have seen the gender assessment for the minister, actually reported by Minister of Planning. Women are actually 60% of women that interviewed by that assessment believe the man is okay to beat her if she left the children out, or the food is not cooked, or all of that. So even the woman perceive and think that it is okay to be beaten. It is something inherited from different stages, that we are okay, the man is okay to be beaten. Yeah. And that is how women actually wanted to be empowered. I used to hate the empowered because I saw women are more empowered, have empowered by nature. But now I always think involvement, maybe if we involve women in a leadership position, if we involve women in economy, in education, in politics, they will and pursue. But now also that kind of unlocking the thoughts and also disbeliefs, and also changing the behavior and the beliefs. You can do pilot, you can be a pilot. You can go to this level, you can be an engineer, a surgeon. And don't wait. Why you should wait? And also build the confidence of them. It will help them a lot. Actually, that's areas. And if we look to the future, because already this level we are having this challenge. But the girls who are in the schools, in universities, and outside, in the social media, if we build them their confidence, they will build girls, a generation who are confident as well.
Well, thank you so much for making time to come to the show. And indeed, we need to empower women, and not just women. We need to also talk to our men.
The men, yeah.
Because the
men
men,
involvement.
yeah, if the man understands why we need to empower women and how this will contribute to the economical development of our country, then things will change. So thank you so much for what you're doing. You're doing a good job in the society. Thank you to Nagad for giving us this report. And we hope that we will see change in the near future. From us here at CBA TV, have a wonderful day.